Okay, this is week one overview. I'm recording for the fourth time. Hopefully this one will work and you can hear me as well. I'm Dr. Estrella, and I'm starting here on the Meet Your Instructor page just so I can reference my email address and my phone number. I will be calling you from this number to introduce myself one-on-one, starting tonight, Thursday, and tomorrow, Friday. And I just wanted to make sure you're aware that my office hours are in the evenings during the week, generally 5:30 to 7:30. Although during the summer, I'm available a little bit earlier in the afternoon. 5:30 is really for during the school year. I'm also available to meet with you by scheduled appointment, by phone, or by a Zoom meeting. So this is my Meet Your Instructor page, but I'm going to skip us forward to our week one so that we can discuss this week's overview. Okay. So our topic this week, we're doing an introduction to exploratory or reflective research, which is what the capstone course is about here at Concordia. And our learning outcomes will generally be the same throughout this first course. So I'll read them here. We will exercise professional reflection throughout the research process about how it impacts school change for school improvement. We will read, analyze, interpret, and synthesize educational research studies and journal articles for their relevancy to teaching, learning, and leadership, or in counseling if you're in that area, on our problem of interest. We will identify and articulate our research problems. We'll pick ones that we can study that are within our control, and we will articulate them with primary and secondary research questions. We will plan and design the process of a qualitative research study, and we will plan and write a research proposal. That's chapters 1 through 3 in accordance to the CUI structured for a research paper. We'll also use APA version 7. Now, in our course, like all the Concordia courses, we have a Christian message. They are, of course, optional, but I invite you to spend time in the Word with me. These devotions are optional, but they are designed to be in line with the mission of Concordia University, Irvine. I choose to teach at Concordia myself. I come from a Lutheran background of faith, although I was baptized Episcopalian, and I recently spent a lot of time in the Catholic faith with some extended family members. These assignments are designed to tie into our curriculum content and link to the Lutheran identity of vocation as a calling and a service to Christ. I choose to teach with Concordia for this very reason. Participation in these assignments is voluntary, and the assignments are not graded, but they are provided as an invitation and an opportunity for you to grow in both your vocation and in your faith, and the devotions will be each week. So if you choose to participate, the week 1 devotion, you may click on the video to review it. View the Christian Message video clip and reflect on what you are seeking as you complete your master's degree program. A short video clip is tied to our discussion board question, and there is an online forum where you and your peers can discuss it as a devotional message. So after you've reviewed it, reflect on what you are seeking to train as you complete your master's degree program, and reflect on the verse, Jeremiah chapter 29, verse 11. For I know the plans I have for you, says the Lord, plans for well-being and not for trouble, to give you a future and a hope. And then on the discussion board, take a moment to share where you've been and where you hope this degree will take you as you pursue the next steps in your vocation. Our readings this week are extensive. This week, we are asked to review the Capstone Handbook. The Capstone Experience, Master of Arts in Education, the entire handbook. It is there for your reference in the future as well as chapters 1, 2, and 4 of the Reflective Practice Guide, an interdisciplinary approach to critical reflection. And then chapters 1 and 2 of Writing the Literature Review, a practical guide. This week, you can also go into the What Works Clearinghouse and look around at some different topic ideas. I've already seen some of your posts this week. You'll be looking for topic ideas on evidence-based practices. And then we'll talk about this week's assignment in just a moment, but looking ahead, we try to give that to you for advanced planning, is for assignment 2. We'll be writing chapter 1, and that will be due on July 14th. So mark your calendars. But let's talk first about discussion board number 1. This is where you should introduce yourself, your core values, and pressing issues that you've observed in the last year or during your current practice if you're teaching this summer. Please tell us about yourself and your educational setting, including your picture if you're comfortable doing so. It's always nice to see what you look like in an online environment, but it's not required. I'm also asking you to reflect on yourself as an educator and your core educational values. There will be tie-ins as you go through with your capstone. Considering your core educational values, discuss 1 or 2 problems or concerns you have in your classroom or the educational setting you are in that are within your control to change. The goal is for one of these to become your research topic. It's okay if you don't know exactly what it is yet. It may morph as we go through this course. Something I like to point out, especially for this first posting, because many people forget it and lose a few points, is that every rubric is listed here in Canvas. But this first one, people often forget to use a full source with an APA style reference. Even though you're introducing yourself and your core values, you are required to include that. And a lot of people are a little surprised that they lose a few of their discussion board points for that reason. And then for the second discussion board number 2, you're asked to acknowledge your personal skills and obstacles. So as you've progressed through your program, you've been exposed to a great number of issues in education and research practices, and you have been well prepared. You've conducted library searches of current and credible literature, and you've learned about paraphrasing and synthesizing literature. You've used APA format. And through all this hard work, you've gotten a lot of skills, and you are ready now to begin your capstone. But even with this great deal of knowledge, you should feel confident and excited and ready to tackle the task. But you're asked to evaluate where you're at now and discuss where you feel your strengths are, and also where you may have some areas to grow. We all have them. So if you go ahead and post here, I did highlight this one in orange because I had the wrong date on there. This is also due by Sunday. And just a reminder that when you post, your initial post should have some substance following the rubric. And then when you respond, you should respond to 2 peers for each one. So by Sunday, you will have responded to 4 total peers across 2 discussion boards, discussion board number 1 and discussion board number 2, right? And again, there is our rubric. One thing I love about Concordia is that we're very transparent with our rubrics. They are exactly what I grade you on. So it's not a secret. And you can go through yourself and decide, did I meet all the criteria to get all of the points? Okay. And now I'm going to scroll this down. There we are. To assignment number 1. Now, assignment number 1 is the library research review due on Sunday. And for the description of the assignment, just click. Okay. I love the library. I come from a family with 2 parents as librarians. For this assignment, you are going to complete the orientation following the link, search the library database to locate 3 current, credible, and peer-reviewed articles that connect to topics covered in the course. In your paper, you will reference the video with the citation and reference and the strategies you use to locate your articles. Be sure to use the writing template that is located in Canvas to discuss the 3 key points of each article and paraphrase the key points. Don't quote them, paraphrase them. Using the APA resources located in your Canvas shell, become familiar with the APA writing style. By the end of these 2 courses, you will be dreaming in APA, I promise you. It's not so bad. And be sure you cite and reference your material according to APA. Now, this is an area where those of us who are detail-oriented, we thrive. And it does take some practice. So I want to encourage you to be detail-oriented and to really focus on the requirements of APA and the citation format. Here is the rubric for scoring assignment number 1. it is worth 10 points. And again, these are in the Canvas shell. They're exactly what I use to grade. So it is quite transparent how I will be awarding your points. If you have questions, I encourage you to reach out and to ask, and also to ask each other. We are a community of scholars and writers, and it does get easier the more you practice it, I promise. Okay. That takes us to week 2, but let's go home. And I want to call your attention to some capstone resources. Here is the exploratory capstone project writing template. I want to make sure you're aware of it, because the last time I taught this course, some of my students weren't aware, but we give you a template to use when you're working on your capstone. And then going back, here is the required structure for a School of Education paper. In case you haven't used it yet, you don't have to format it yourself. It's already done for you. Oh, here's the information. There you go. Now, when I started my dissertation and all of my graduate work, I had to go through and make my own template. It's a great thing that they have done for you here in Concordia. They've already structured it for you. So you can just go ahead and download it and use it. This editing link, we'll use it a little bit later in the course. I just want to call your attention to it. You'll see a lot of really helpful tips that you'll want to access here. And just so that you're aware of it here at the beginning of the course. See? Okay. Now I want to take you to the APA resources section. Besides the template that is provided for you and the writing guidelines, there are some really helpful videos, and I encourage you to take some time to review them here. We have a wonderful writing studio at Concordia. It's not my job to give you that sort of feedback on your writing, although I will give you quite a bit of it. I encourage you to go in and use the writing resources as often as you need to and early. The sooner and earlier you do it, the better your writing will become. Especially in the capstone, you want to make sure that you are following all of the right conventions. And their feedback is very positive. I've had a great experience working with them in the last 8 years. So here are some great resources for you. As well as the writing studio, which you will be required to use at the end of this course, but why wait? Especially when they're there to help. Here we are for the library orientation. And here are some video tutorials about the research databases. This is the way you can get to the main library webpage. And here is the education research guide. And again, some wonderful how-to videos. So that is our week 1 overview. I will be giving you a personal phone call, a one-on-one later tonight or tomorrow. This week is an exciting time. The capstone is the zenith of your graduate studies at Concordia, and it's my pleasure and honor to be here with you.